It is now time for the true God of humanity to come to the rescue of the Syrian people. I'm not talking about the Christian God. I'm not talking about the Islamic God. I'm not talking about the various gods that the Oriental people have relied upon. I'm not talking about the God the African people have relied upon. I'm talking about the true God, because the God that the world calls God is nothing but a farce. Who in Syria would trust a Christian God, would trust an Islamic God, really, would trust an Oriental God, who have left them out there to be slaughtered and not care? And when I say it's time for the true God of humanity to rise up, I'm not talking about a God to come from some place hidden where we know not of. I'm not talking about a God coming from out of the clouds anywhere. I'm talking about a real God that lives in the bodies of people who are seeing the devil massacre a group of people and has no remorse whatsoever. I'm talking about a God that says it's time for it to stop and are willing for it to stop. Now, what would this God do? This God will have to fight fire with fire. Why? Because the devil knows nothing but fire. But he doesn't know it as strong as God does. The devil wants to live. That's why he's killing all these people. The devil don't want to die. It's time for the God of humanity to go in there and wipe out these demons that's slaughtering these people. And if Russia don't like it, slap them side their head and tell them to go home with like a tail between their legs, or put up their dukes and fight. If China doesn't like it, slap them side the head, put their tail between their legs, and tell them if they don't like it, put up their dukes and fight. Because I can guarantee you one thing. Where God is represented, there's nothing but victory. God cannot be defeated. All God needs is a body. So all God needs now is an army dedicated to love. And that is to love these people who are being slaughtered and knock these demons off their high horses that's doing it to them. I'm telling you, as a child of God, it is time that God, in whatever nation you are, if you are a small nation, a third world nation, if you got a military, it is time you rise up and go kick that devil in the head in Syria that's slaughtering these people. Don't worry if you don't get support from the big countries where their God doesn't mean anything. Do you think that a God, an American God, a Christian God, a Jesus God, if it was any good, would allow the slaughtering of those people in Syria? No way. It happens because the God of America, the Christian God, has no backbone. Does that mean that God has no backbone? No, it does not mean that God doesn't have a backbone. But God, what it means is those who are professing God, those who are claiming God, are full of crap. And God cannot use them. They are full of crap. That's why poverty exists in America. That's why poverty exists in Russia, in China, in Syria, and all over the country and all over the world. That's why we're going through this crisis in Chicago right now with the education system, because God is dead in this country. All that lives in this country is money. How can I get more money? How can I be wealthier because I'm better than you? I'm more superior than you. I deserve more than you. That's the devil's cry all over the world. And there has been no God to stand up and defend righteousness and defend love. Nowhere. So I call on the living God of humanity, wherever you might reside, rise up. Now is your time to shine.